Once upon a time, in a bright and cheerful countryside, there stood a cozy little house surrounded by tall, swaying trees. The sun beamed down, casting a warm glow over everything, and the air was filled with the sweet sounds of nature. Birds chirped merrily, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, creating a delightful symphony. In front of this charming abode, Mama Goat and her 3 little goats stood, waving cheerfully, their hearts full of joy. Now, Mama Goat was not just any mother. She was wise and caring, always looking out for her little ones. One sunny morning, she had an important task ahead of her. She needed to venture out to gather food from the meadow. But before she left, she knelt down to her little goats, her eyes sparkling with love, yet glimmering with seriousness. "My sweet little ones," she began, her voice gentle but firm. "I need to go to the meadow. While I'm gone, don't open the door for anyone, especially the big bad wolf. He might try to trick you, but remember, he has a rough, growly voice and big, hairy paws. You'll know it's him." The 3 little goats, each one brimming with bravery, nodded their heads vigorously, promising their mother they would be careful. With a kiss goodbye and a heart full of hope, Mama Goat turned and headed down the path, her silhouette growing smaller against the backdrop of the bright blue sky. Once the door clicked shut behind her, the little goats felt a rush of excitement and a tinge of responsibility. They locked the door tightly, knowing they had to stay alert. Little did they know, lurking nearby was the sneaky big bad wolf, who had been watching Mama Goat leave with a glint of mischief in his eyes. As the wolf hid behind a tree, he rubbed his paws together, a wicked grin spreading across his face. "Oh, what a feast I shall have today," he thought to himself. With a stealthy tiptoe, he approached the door and knocked, his heart racing with anticipation. Inside, the little goats heard the knock and exchanged worried glances. The eldest goat, who was always the bravest, stepped forward, puffing out her little chest. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice steady. The wolf, trying to sound as sweet as honey, replied in a deep, growly voice. "It's me, your mama. Let me in, my darlings." The goats listened closely, their ears perked up like little antennas. The youngest goat, with her big, curious eyes, wrinkled her nose in suspicion. "That doesn't sound like Mama. Our Mama has a sweet voice, not a growly one." They were too clever for the wolf's tricks. With a triumphant little giggle, the goats decided not to open the door. Frustrated, the wolf stomped away, his plans thwarted for now. But the wolf was not one to give up easily. He plopped down under a nearby tree, scratching his chin as he thought hard. How can I outsmart those little goats?" Suddenly, an idea struck him like a lightning bolt. He dashed off to the nearby market and bought a big jar of honey, a mischievous sparkle in his eyes. With a spoonful of honey in his mouth, he felt his voice transform, becoming soft and smooth like syrup. He raced back to the goat's house, his heart pounding with excitement, and knocked once more. "It's me, your mama. Let me in, my darlings," he called out, this time in a sweet, gentle voice that would make anyone's heart melt. The little goats huddled together, their ears twitching at the sound. The eldest goat, ever the cautious one, spoke up again. "Wait! Let's see if it's really Mama. Show us your paws." Ah, the little goats were indeed very smart. They knew that Mama Goat's paws were soft and white, unlike the wolf's big, hairy ones. Outside the door, the wolf quickly glanced at his dirty, rough paws and panicked. In a flash, he ran to cover them with flour, hoping to make them look white and innocent. With a flourish, he showed his flour-covered paws through the window, grinning like a fool. "See, it's me, your mama. Let me in." The youngest goat, unable to contain her giggles, pointed and laughed. "That's not Mama. Those paws are too big and rough." The goats erupted into laughter, their giggles filling the air like sweet music. The wolf, feeling angry and embarrassed, stormed off into the woods, his plans crumbling like dry leaves beneath his feet. Meanwhile, the little goats celebrated their cleverness, feeling proud of their quick thinking. They were safe inside their cozy house, and the big bad wolf was no match for their wit. A little while later, Mama Goat returned home, her basket overflowing with delicious food. The little goats rushed to her, their hearts filled with joy and relief. "You did it! You didn't let that sneaky wolf fool you!" Mama Goat exclaimed, her voice brimming with pride. "I'm so proud of you!" The little goats hugged their mother tightly, their hearts swelling with happiness. They had not only listened to their mother's warning, but had also shown bravery and cleverness in the face of danger. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the peaceful house, the goats gathered around the table, enjoying a delightful meal together. The warmth of their love and laughter filled the air, and the shadows of the trees danced gently in the evening light. From that day on, the little goats always remembered to be careful and clever. They learned that being smart and paying attention could keep them safe from the sneaky wolf and any other dangers that might come their way. And so, they lived happily ever after, their hearts light and their spirits high, knowing that together, they could outsmart anything that tried to trick them. Remember, my dear friends, just like the little goats, being smart and careful can keep you safe. So, let's wave goodbye to our little friends as they continue their adventures in the beautiful countryside, always looking out for one another and enjoying the magic of their happy home.